Does anybody else think that so much of fitness world is like way too overly complicated? Like after years and years and years of tinkering and testing and experimenting, I've found a system that is really, really, really simple and it works for me. I have narrowed down my fitness habits into three very simple categories. Weight training with a barbell, natural human movements like running, walking, sprinting, jumping, and things I do for fun, cycling, backpacking, hiking. That is my system for fitness, for my fitness habits for long-term health. If you're anything like me, like 99% of people, we just want to feel good. We want to maybe look good if we can, and we want to be healthy like long into our elderly years. I think that's fitness for most people, right? But so many of the programs you find online, on Instagram, you see these influencers. These are like bodybuilders. These are influencers. They're doing all these weird, crazy workouts. Like, you don't need any of that. It's really that simple. And this is the system that I finally figured out after years of testing and tinkering. So I do the exact same workout every time I go to the gym with a barbell. It's the big five: squats, deadlifts, bench, so like flat or incline bench, overhead press, shoulder press, and bent over rows. That's it. Those five movements, and then if you add pull-ups, so 6, 5 with a barbell plus pull-ups, those 6 movements work every muscle in your body. What's amazing about the barbell is that when humans invented weightlifting, we figured out this perfect system where you have a bar and you put equal weights on either end. We figured out the big 5 and then throw in pull-ups. That works all your muscles. That's it. So all those machines that isolate for like one little muscle group, it's just overcomplicating a system that was perfect to begin with decades ago, right? Decades ago. So all these other isolation machines and all that, I mean, I think that's great for if you're elderly or if you have maybe back problems and you have to be a lot more careful. But for most people, doing some lighter weight with a barbell to get used to the movement and to do it with good lifting form, it doesn't take long. That's not a huge learning curve. And the barbell, you can do this full body lift every single time. Of course, dumbbells are great too. I personally prefer the barbell. That's what I've done for years and years, and it's worked really, really well for me. There's a way to kind of mimic this at home a little bit. So somebody left a comment and asked what I do to like stay fit on the road. What's my like camping workout? I have 2 kettlebells that are the same weight, 2 30-pound kettlebells, and I try to mimic my barbell routine with these kettlebells. So basically just do the big 5 with kettlebells instead. So that's not only for traveling, but also it's really nice for just at home. Like let's say I don't have, a full hour and a half to like drive to the gym, work out, come back, take a shower before I have to go do something. So then I can just pick up the kettlebells for like 15 minutes or 20 minutes, get a great workout, work every muscle in my body really quickly, and put them back. Pretty simple. Yeah, I think, with lifting, with the barbell, the most important thing is getting the correct lifting form, right? Once you get the form down, you do the big 5, you throw in pull-ups, that's it, man. You've hit every muscle in your body pretty much. The second component, natural human movements. So that's the way our bodies are designed to move. We can easily add that into our week. Going for a walk every day, or running if you like to run. Sprinting is fun. I do like 30-second sprints with a minute of walking, and it helps to have a watch that has a second timer, so you can sprint for 30, walk for a minute, sprint for 30, walk for a minute. It's beautiful here in Tennessee right now, so going for a walk is a no-brainer. Going for a jog, going for a more of a run, go do some sprints. Yeah, natural human movements, that's number 2. And number 3 is things you like what you love to do, whether it's playing sports or cycling or swimming or climbing or hiking and backpacking. The things you love to do, you're going to naturally do them way more often. You're not going to have to force yourself to do it. I think there's so many runners. There's so many runners out there that hate running, and yet they do it and they force themselves to do it, and that's admirable. I mean, I'm not good at that, but at the same time, like, it's better just to find something you actually truly enjoy. You might hate weightlifting right now, but eventually, once you get the form down and once you're pretty consistent with it, you're going to learn to love it. At least that's from my experience. I really do love lifting. I love getting into the gym, spending 45 minutes or an hour doing my barbell routine. Makes me feel really good after. I've just learned to love it. I've learned to love it even though maybe I didn't at first. Now, are there days that I have to force myself to go to the gym, like I really don't want to go and I'm being lazy? Yeah, like that happens all the time, of course. So just because I love something doesn't mean that it's not also hard to force myself to do it. But I don't hate it. I don't hate lifting. I don't hate doing some sprints. I don't hate doing a 30-minute run, like less than 3 miles. Sometimes I'll run just 1 mile, run for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But the things that require pretty much no friction or forcing myself to do is the things that I love to do. So hopping on my bike, or going on a hike, or planning a backpacking trip, playing basketball. Sports come easy. Activities like that come easy. Things you love. So for me, it's hopping on a bicycle. I love to ride my bike. And sometimes it's a short ride. Sometimes it's just commuting down the street. Or sometimes it's like I'm going to do 20 to 30 miles. And then, going for a hike, getting outside in the woods. Those 3 things, weights and the barbell, your natural human movements, the things you love, the things you like to do, that's your system right there. If you want something that's mindless, automatic, baked in, every week you're going to be consistent with it, ditch the crazy programs where it's arms one day, legs another day, back another day, and you got to lift 5 days a week. And, you're doing all these isolation movements and you're using all these machines and it's complicated and you got to track it in a book and all of that. And type A people, this is your jam. I know I'm speaking to your hearts when I say all this, but for me, it doesn't work. I like the minimalist way. I like to just keep it simple. And every single time I go into the gym, it's the same thing. I know what I'm going to do. I'm not obsessing over the details. I don't log and track my lifts. Like, I've slowly gotten stronger over time. And could I have made more progress and gotten stronger quicker and put on more muscle or whatever? Yes, like if I had tracked better, of course I could have done that. But I'm not in it to maximize every single little ounce of it. I'm in it for long-term health. Like, do I get a good workout? Do I slowly get stronger over time? And the way I do that, I just simply have, in my head, I know my limits for my squat. Like, what's my max? What's my good rep range? I don't count my sets. I don't even count my reps. I just know that if I'm in between like 5 to 8 or 9 reps, that's the good rep range I want to be in. If I'm under 5, it's too heavy weight. And if I'm like at 10 plus reps, that is too light of a weight. So I try to stay between like 5 to 8 or 9 reps. I do maybe like 3 or 4 sets for each workout. That has worked really well for me, and I don't have to. It's like mindless now. It's just it's a built-in system that I know that when I walk in the gym, I'm going to grab some kettlebells and do a quick warm-up. I'm going to stretch. Stretching for me has been really good before and after lifting. And then I'm going to do my squats, deadlift, some rows, and some sort of a press, and then some pull-ups. And I'm out. And I do this every single time I go to the gym. Every time. So try that out. Let me know how it works for you. It's worked really well for me for years now, and I've done some writing about that, written a couple blog posts, which I'll link below. Let's be happy and fit and healthy long into our elderly years. The elderly athlete is only decades away, right? That's a good mentality to have. Be that white beard, more fit than your grandkids. That's a fun fantasy to have, right? At least that's the way I look at it. The byproduct of that is then you get to feel good every day and you're not in pain, and maybe you even feel like you look good and you're happy with your body. I mean, those are all pluses, right? Because then every single time you put on a cool outfit, it's like, all right, I don't look terrible today. I don't look terrible. I just wanted to make this video to kind of preach to the world that fitness is not complicated. Taking care of yourself is not complicated. And I think so many people lose the habit of staying fit or avoid it entirely because of this fear of how complicated it is, how much time it takes, how much commitment it is, how much stuff you have to learn, how expensive it is, and all this stuff. And it's not. It's like you can find a $10 gym membership. You can buy some kettlebells for, under $100. And if you really want to get crazy, you can buy a bicycle for $300 or $400. I don't have a squat rack, right? I would love one. And that's a long-term goal. Put a squat rack in a garage or something. But right now, that's the system. Paying for my health every month. The biggest bill is the grocery bill, right? And that's the hardest part, of course, with growing muscle mass. Anyone would tell you who's succeeded in that endeavor that the hardest part is in the kitchen. Maintaining a caloric surplus. It's so hard to eat that much food. At least I've found. Smoothies are a good hack because you can cram like more than 1,000 calories in a smoothie pretty quickly. One of the other benefits I've found with lifting weights that you can't get from cardio is that if you end up in a caloric surplus consistently, like you're just going to be building muscle rather than building fat, growing fat. What's the term? Growing fat? Getting fatter. So those extra calories you eat goes to growing your muscles. Like, that's amazing. I mean, mostly, right? I think maybe, someone who's trying to lose weight, somebody who's obese, wants to focus so much on just burning the most amount of calories. And that's good, and you should do that. But also, lifting has a way of doing that while also altering your metabolism, and then the excess calories that you eat will grow muscle instead of going to fat gain. So yeah, maybe this is helpful for anybody who wants a simple, automatic routine. Go in there, work every single muscle in your body. You'll feel great, and you can go home happy, and then you don't have to lift for another 2 or 3 days. Amazing. Look at that. Amazing. That's my routine. That's what I do at home or on the road. I've been happy to do it for years now, and I hope it helps you as well.